are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. I've asked every driver that's come on to tell me a little bit about what they've been doing during quarantine because you especially, we're so used to you being, at the NASCAR track, at the dirt track, wherever you can race, and you've had quite the break of no racing.
Yeah, it's been pretty different. I think this is the longest stretch I've ever gone without being in a race car. So I've just been spending a lot of time, tinkering on my dirt cars, and but they're pretty much sitting there ready to go race now. So unfortunately, I won't get to race them for a while, but I'm super excited about going back to Darlington. I think everybody's pretty anxious to get back behind the wheel, and hopefully we're able to put on a good show, maybe get some new eyes on our sport here. And I think it's going to be something for the ages here coming up at Darlington.
Well, Sunday is the end date. That's when the green flag drops at Darlington. So what does prep look like for you guys this week? Because most of the time we would have practice and qualifying. And this part of the season, we wouldn't even be at Darlington. So how do you prepare for Darlington and for that long race? Because Darlington's a hard one.
Yeah, it is super difficult. I think the biggest thing is a lot of simulator time. We obviously haven't been able to be in the simulator for, the last couple months or anything, but last week was the first time that we were able to get to my simulator. And so last week I think I put in several hours, and then we got a couple more hours in this week before the race, but nothing can replace that at track time. So it's going to be different for sure getting in the car with no practice, no qualifying. Then, the first time that you see turn one or turn three is going to be under green flag conditions in the race.
Have you talked to Jason Radcliffe, your crew chief, or any of the guys? Because when you guys unload at Darlington, you better pray that you have speed.
Yeah, it's, a lot of that is, I don't know. For me as a driver, a lot of it is outside of my control. So the only thing that I can do is go out there and try and do my best at, getting around the racetrack as quick as I can. But for those guys, they literally have one shot to prepare a race car with the best setup that they think is for the right conditions, and go out there and hope that we're fast, like you said. So we might see some longer pit stops trying to work on the car the first couple times that we go down pit road. And, obviously for me, I've never been to Darlington in a cup car, so it's going to take a little bit for me to get up to speed as well.
Every driver that I've talked to this week has mentioned those pit stops and about how the communication at the start of the race is going to be so key on that radio coming from the drivers to really get that car tuned in. So do you think that it's going to be that first pit stop that you can kind of marinate everything in and get it set up for the rest of that race? Because we're racing at Darlington in the day, which is also different for us.
Yeah, so I think it's definitely going to take more than one pit stop. Well, I hope it's not. I hope we drop the green flag and the 95 goes straight to the front. But, we're going to see a lot of change. A lot of guys I'm expecting to, miss on the car whenever they drop the green flag. And a lot of guys will be able to work on their car and get their car a lot faster throughout the course of the race. So, and that's one of the things that I think is really exciting about being able to race with no practice is you're going to see guys that hit the setup right off the bat and are good early, and then other guys that are able to work on their car and maybe get their car a little bit better at the end. So, I've always been a huge fan of less practice, and now we take that to the pretty much the ultimate with no practice.
Yeah, well, you got what you wished for because you're going to have no practice.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe that we're talking about this being your first start in the Cup Series at Darlington, and I feel like I have talked to you for years with your success in the Xfinity Series. So now looking to these next races where you have 4 in 2 weeks with super long races, some of the hardest tracks that we go to all season long. Are you ready for those 4 starts?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be difficult.
No pressure, Seabell. No pressure.
I know. I've been following the weather, and it's just how fitting is it that our first race back, we're going to Darlington for a day race, and it's going to be 90 degrees. So that's going to be really, really hot and trying. And and like you said, it's going to be a different experience for us. But I'm excited and anxious to get back behind the wheel. My goal is to finish these races. Finishing Cup races has not been my strong suit yet, so. Make sure that I see mile 400 on Sunday is my number one goal.
People always ask this, and this is something that they're curious about. On those hot days, before you get into that race car, what does preparing your body look like?
Well, thankfully, everyone at Toyota Racing Development has put in a lot of resources into making us the best race car drivers that we can be. And so we've been able to go to our gym and work out, and we have a heat room in there. So we're able to go to the heat room and try and acclimate our bodies to the heat as well as we can anyway.
Somebody on here asked, what's your favorite track so far to race at?
So my favorite,
we have a lot of them.
My favorite track all time is Eldora. I love that racetrack. And then favorite NASCAR track would have to be either Bristol or Dover. I've had success at Bristol and Dover. So for whatever reason, I mean, I love the high bank speed, and yeah, so Bristol or Dover.
Let's see. I also talked to Reddick, and he mentioned that if he was a little worried about that rookie battle, if they got back in your wheelhouse and tracks like Bristol and some of the ones that you run are really good at, because you were just going to take it and run with it. So as far as that Sunoco rookie battle, do you pay attention to where you guys are finishing, the rookies, and how they're running and what they're doing, or do you just kind of run your own race?
Yeah, so at the moment, we haven't even been able to look at points or anything just because of the way our season's been going. But at some point, hopefully, we're able to compete with those guys and mix it up. But we're definitely spotting them a lot of points right now.
Yeah, we'll get in your wheelhouse soon and show them. Somebody asked if you have a favorite all-time racing memory.
Favorite all-time racing memory. I mean, my NASCAR career is pretty short, so.
But has a lot of wins. Y'all, he's been to Victory Lane. How many times have you been to Victory Lane?
A couple, but I remember Las Vegas last year. It was me, Tyler Reddick, and Kyle Busch. We were all racing, and we, I ended up passing Kyle, and I ran into the wall shortly after. But that was really cool because we were racing so hard for the win, and so that was a really good memory.
Getting just back into racing and kind of been talking with your team and with your crew, what does that look like? Have you guys had Zoom meetings? What's been the communication, group text? What's that look like?
So, I mean, obviously it's been a lot of, a lot of texting, a lot of calling, virtual meetings or whatever. But thankfully I have been able to go over to my crew chief's house. We had lunch the other day. So we got to, at least spend a little bit of time together and talk about what the upcoming schedule looks like and how that's going to affect him and how it's going to affect me as well. So I'm just glad that we're going to get some races in here. So running Sunday, Wednesday is going to be really, really different for all of us, but I'm up for the task, and I think everybody's really anxious to finally get something back on TV, and I know myself and Jason Ratcliffe are ready to go race again.
Switching gears away from racing for a little bit, you and Morgan, I guess you can still call it newlyweds. You guys are very recently married. What's that been like? Being at home now? Y'all have really had a honeymoon at home in quarantine.
Yeah, I'm sick of her now. I'm ready to go to Darlington.
Hey, Morgan.
Yeah, she's grinning over there now.
But has that been, is she ready for you to get out of the house? Because I think Morgan's like, yeah, he can go back to racing anytime now.
I'm not sure. I think I think so. I think we're both ready to get a little bit of alone time, but I love her and I'm thankful for her, and we've definitely, and we've been around each other a lot. We've been together for like the last 6 years, and so we've traveled a lot together, and it's nothing abnormal for us to be together.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody's ready to go back racing, including the wives. Okay, last thing for you, the Pro Invitational Series. I know that you ran in that series and have been doing a lot of iRacing stuff. First of all, I want to talk about how great that's been for the fans and you drivers putting that on, and how special it is to have racing on Sundays, even if it's virtual. And second, has that helped, and do you think that that's going to carry any momentum into when we do get back racing on Sunday? Did you freeze?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there we go. Perfect.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, good.
So the Pro Invitational deal it's been really cool just to have something to do. And, I never would have thought that we would see iRacing on live TV. So that's been so much fun to be a part of, and hopefully the fans have enjoyed it. I don't think it'll carry any momentum over. It's just so totally different. We're not in a real race car. We're sitting at a computer. So as far as carrying momentum over, I don't think that'll be the case. And you see obviously a lot of different drivers that excel on iRacing that compared to real life. So I don't really think that'll relate, but it's definitely been really enjoyable to have something to do.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for any of the incidences on the virtual track to carry over to where they're still mad at each other.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
I
waiting
hope
for.
that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I don't think you have to worry, but some of those guys, I can tell you who to steer clear of if they carry over. All right, Seabell, well, thank you so much for joining us. Good luck at Darlington. We can't wait to see you guys on Sunday, so enjoy it.
Sounds good. Thank you.